This is episode 209 of the Twim Show. I'm your host Sajid. Today I'm going over the digital marketing updates from the week of April 22nd to 26th, 2024. With that, first up, Google has updated guidelines on ranking changes. So what Google is saying is it's basically Google's documentation where Google is providing you updates on how to handle any drop in ranking after an algorithm update, right? So now what Google is saying, be realistic. Sometimes not all the changes or all the sites that are affected by algorithm update will be getting back all their rankings prior to an update, right? They are saying, there could be issues. You might be affected by, traffic due to technical SEO. You could be due to security issues, things like that. And also what's the updated guide is showing is look, there is the ranking is dynamic, so not necessarily you will always maintain the same position. You could actually go from position 2 to position 8 and vice versa, or you could actually go to a different page or different position altogether. Give this thing a read. The link is in the show notes if you have been hit with a ranking drop after the latest algorithm changes. With that, I just wanted to touch on is that Google's March 2024 core update is completed. Even though it's kicked off in March, it actually took 45 days and did not end up until April 19th. So it was about 45 days long. So this is a good time for you to go and see if you're still showing up on the right rank, if you got hit by it or not, because a lot of people complain that they did get hit by the March 2024 core update. Just so that Google is delaying the third-party cookie phase out. Now the new time is 2025. When in 2025, no, they haven't really announced it, but it just shows that it's not as easy as we thought. I thought that that it's going to be easy to deprecate third-party cookies because the web is so dependent on that. The other thing is that even though it is pushed back by another 8 or 9 months, I wouldn't really take that as a signal to saying it's not going to get phased out. It will get phased out. This is where a good time for you to look at your digital marketing strategy and see where you are, take an inventory and see where you're using third-party cookies and how can you use first-party cookies. That will be very important. Google's John Mueller says that Google's document on links best practice is still a good guidelines, even though it's about 14 months old. Again, this is more about link guidelines in the terms of not backlinks, but more like anchor text and other stuff. So instead of using click here, you should or read more, which is very vague. Again, there are some. John Mueller is saying use descriptive links, and again, obviously check out the link guideline if you really are struggling on how to create good anchor links. Okay, the link is in the show notes. And now John Mueller also says that splitting or merging your website with another domain will test your patience. So especially if you're merging or splitting it, just because it's not going to be that if you go from website A into website B and C, or website A into A plus B does not mean you will get ranked right away. It's going to take some time. So obviously you need to be patient, and you may not even rank at all. Keep that in mind. And then the next thing is 404. This is coming back from the previous episode 208, where obviously Gary Les says look, if you're 404, I wouldn't worry about it. And then people are asking, what about link spam, that leads to 404? Again, Gary is saying, or John Mueller is saying that there is no don't waste your time on discovering any links as they're spammy links, as they're effectively null. Focus on things that really matters. And this is that time of the year where Google and Microsoft announce their earnings report, and just so that they're doing very well. And obviously Google and Microsoft, they both make money from ads. Google had a 15% increase in revenue. Ad revenue was up 13% from compared to 2023. That's for Google. For Microsoft, ad revenue was 12%. So as it is, looks like people are still spending money. Either that or cost per click has gone up. I do not know which one is what. Again, all I know is what they've reported, which is their ad revenue has been up. Last up is that TikTok is facing a sale or a ban in the US because obviously the law has passed in Congress and President Biden has signed it. I'm pretty sure you know by now. If not, you didn't know. Now you know. Who didn't know? About 170 million users in the US are using TikTok. TikTok is saying they would rather face a ban than sell, just because at the heart is the algorithm. And obviously they don't want to give the algorithm. The 170 million users in the US does not generate enough revenue for ByteDance. The revenue that the algorithm that it generates in China is a lot higher. Will remain to be seen. TikTok is planning to file lawsuits. I'm not sure how that's going to happen because it's an act of Congress. But again, hey, lawyers have their fancy way of filing lawsuits for the sake of filing lawsuits because they're going to get paid regardless of the outcome. I will let them fight it out in their court. Okay. With that, folks, that's it for This Week in Marketing. I'm your host, Sujit, signing off until next week. Take care. Bye bye.